In films, chase sequences have always been a staple of storytelling, captivating audiences with their breathless excitement and intense movements. As we delve into this video, we will explore the approach taken by filmmakers in creating iconic chase sequences. We start off with James Bond, a cinematic icon for decades.
My name is Bond. James Bond.
He is known for his dazzling cars, innovative gadgets, and high-speed chase sequences. However, over the years, the formula for these chase scenes seems to have become somewhat stale. While Bond's advanced weaponry and gadgets should make these sequences exciting, they often end up feeling tedious and formulaic in many Bond movies. Bond films have always featured cutting-edge gadgets. While these devices were once source of intrigue and excitement, they have become increasingly predictable. Whether it's machine guns hidden behind headlights, ejector seats, or tire spikes, these gadgets have been used repeatedly in various films. This predictability takes away the element of surprise. This diminishes the thrill of these chase sequences. Bond himself has remained relatively static as a character, which contributes to the repetitiveness of these chase sequences. His unchanging persona makes it challenging to create a character-driven tension and novelty in these action scenes. Many of Bond chase sequences lack emotional depth or personal stake for the character. Viewers are more engaged when there is a clear emotional connection or a sense of urgency involved. Without this, the action can become detached and uninteresting. No Time to Die solved this problem. Just look at this scene. This is really great, no denying that. But the opening sequence of No Way to Die is powerful and emotionally charged scene that adds the depth to the character of James Bond. In this sequence, James Bond, portrayed by Daniel Craig, feels a sense of betrayal by his girlfriend, Madeleine. This confrontation takes place in the midst of a high stakes and intense car chase, and it adds to the layer of emotional complexity to the action, engaging viewers on a profound level. The fact that this emotional confrontation occurs during a high-speed car chase amplifies the intensity of the scene. The action provides the contrast to the emotional turmoil of the characters. This adds depth and complexity to the sequence, making it more than just a typical action set piece. Seeing a character as iconic and traditionally stoic as James Bond express his emotion and vulnerabilities is a departure from the norm. It humanizes the character and allows viewers to connect with him on deeper level, making the film more relatable and engaging. Next, I would like to talk about Baby Driver. The film's clever use of soundtrack is central to its charm. Each chase sequence is set to a carefully chosen song, and the action is synchronized to the beat and rhythm of the music. This synchronization not only adds to the thrill but also injects a sense of humor as the characters' actions are exaggeratedly timed for the music. For instance, the opening sequence Baby's driving skill are matched to the rhythm of bell bottoms, setting the stage for the unique blend of action and the humor throughout the film. In the movie, viewers find themselves in chase with Baby, trying to anticipate his next move and how he plans to outwit his pursuers. This type of audience engagement is made possible by Baby's strategic thinking, clever maneuvers, and his innate understanding of streets of Atlanta. What I absolutely love about this movie is how he turns everyday objects into improvised weapons. The use of environment to his advantage adds a layer of intelligence to these scenes, and the audience is left on the edge of their seats, rooting for his success. The combination of Baby's intelligence, resourcefulness, and the audience actively trying to see what he's going to do next, they're in the process of figuring everything out. That makes the car chase sequence in Baby Driver not only thrilling but also mentally stimulating. Similarly, the Italian Job also relies on intelligence, but it focuses on a team of heist experts who work together to execute a major gold heist. The film features intricate planning, heist execution, and the use of various skills and gadgets to achieve their goals. Unlike Baby Driver, where the focus is primarily on one character, the Italian Job showcases the collaborative intelligence of the team. The car chase with mini-cars makes it really interesting. The film keeps viewers engaged by revealing the intricate details of the heist and how the team members are going to work together to overcome those obstacles. The use of technology, elaborate schemes, and the heist expertise add a different dimension to the intelligence displayed in the film. If we talk about Fast and Furious 5, the car chase has something more going on for it. High stakes and the emotional undertone. The emotional undertone becomes apparent during the climatic heist scene when the crew attempts to steal $100 million from corrupt businessman's vault. What could have been a straightforward action sequence take a deeper meaning as the character work tirelessly to secure the money. The urgency isn't solely driven by the desire of wealth. It's driven by the characters' longing for life where they can finally settle down, away from the dangers of their criminal past. The heist scene is not just an exciting robbery, it's about the characters' dreams and hopes. Higher the stakes, the more gripping the action becomes. Viewers are on the edge of their seats, not only because the high-speed chases and daring stunts, but because they care about the character's future. The emotional undertone makes the heist success or failure a matter of personal significance. Viewers are emotionally invested in the outcome because they want to see this character achieve their dreams. In the end, when characters successfully pull off the heist, is not just a victory for them, it's the victory for the audience as well. The emotional journey that the character undertakes throughout the film, culminating its heist scene, evoke a sense of satisfaction and closure for the viewers. The realization that the characters can now secure their future and live as a family tugs at the heartstring of the audience, making the ending of Fast 5 a perfect blend of action and emotion. Recently, I watched Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning, and I have a confession to make. I watched this film first day first show, knowing that my friend also wanted to watch it with me. I watched it again with him and never told him that I had already watched the film. I have watched it 4 times till now. There are many more rewatches to come. Every movie that I am talking about in this video, from all of them, this car chase sequence is my favorite. There is that clip scene in this movie that was heavily marketed, but I think this car sequence is something else. The sequence starts with Grace trying to escape Ethan, clearly showing her reluctance to collaborate with him. In the world of spy movies, whenever a man and a woman engage in a duel, it inherently adds an extra layer of intrigue. Think about iconic duels like those between Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie in Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Their electrifying chemistry in that film was pure delight to witness. Another exciting example of this dynamic is the movie Night and Day. June's character initially harbors a suspicion about Roy and is reluctant to trust him. What follows is continuous cat and mouse chase between them, as Roy repeatedly swoops in to rescue Jane from impending danger. This dynamic relentless pursuit is also present in this movie with Ethan and Grace. Now let's dive into the stakes of this gripping scene. Our characters are being pursued not only by the local police but also vengeful CIA operative who has a personal vendetta against Ethan. To make matters worse, a ruthless killer named Paris, working with a mysterious entity, is hot on their wheels. To add another layer of complexity, after a minor accident, Grace and Ethan find themselves at gunpoint, handcuffed to each other. Local police and Paris also converge on the scene, leading to a chaotic fight. Seizing the opportunity, Grace and Ethan, still cuffed together, make a daring escape attempt in the car. This itself is a challenge because Rose has very limited driving skills. The tension builds as Ethan guides Grace through the escapes, constantly interchanging the position to adapt ongoing chase. In between high-speed car chases, the characters take moment to talk and strategize. It gives audiences breathing moment. In delightful twist, a humor takes center stage with the introduction of small, electric Fiat 500 instead of a racing car Ethan had anticipated. The zany choice of vehicle adds a comical layer to the chase, a trope well known for delivering entertaining sequences in the movies, such as The Italian Job and the first Bomb film. Ethan's humorous attempt to figure out how to operate this tiny vehicle provides yet another comical element. The laughter in the theater intensifies as the car hilariously serves through the streets, prompting Ethan and Grace to accidentally change their positions once again. This car keeps the audience entertained and serves as a constant source of comical relief throughout the scene. As the tension escalates and pursuers close in, Ethan drives the car into a tunnel, culminating in a dramatic confrontation on the train tracks. Grace, with her resourcefulness, has already freed herself from the handcuffs using a cleverly concealed pin, leaving one behind for Ethan. In climatic moment, as the distant sound of approaching train grows louder, Ethan struggles to free himself from the handcuff attached to the steering wheel. The intensity of the scene peaks when he breaks the wheels but manages to save himself just in the nick of time. The whole scene gives satisfaction and delight to the audience of the theatre. It carefully balanced the comedic timing, high stakes, and the thrilling cat and mouse game between two main characters. These elements come together seamlessly to make this scene a standout moment in the film, leaving viewers throughout entertained and engaged. Another movie that I watched a long time ago and remember for this video was Death Proof. The villain in the Death Proof is a character named Stuntman Mike, portrayed by Kurt Russell. Really great acting by the way. Stuntman Mike, as the name suggests, is a former Hollywood stuntman who now derives pleasure from using his car, a menacing and reinforced death-proof vehicle, to cause fatal accident with young women. He deliberately targets group of female friends, especially those who he perceives as vulnerable or naive. Stuntman Mike uses his car as a weapon, engaging in high-speed chases and deadly collision, often leading to gruesome deaths of his victim. He kills a group of girls in the first half. The second half of the film is distinct, as it shifts the focus from the first group of female characters who Mike killed to the new set of women. These are stunt women and friends. As the film progresses, Tarantino dwells into their lives, providing the audience with richer understanding of who they are and what drives them. Tarantino is known for his sharp and dialogue-driven storytelling, and in the second half of the Death Proof, this skill is prominently displayed. The women engage in the conversation that not only witty and entertaining, but also reveal their aspirations, fear, and the past experiences. These conversations showcase the complexity of their characters. Now that we have acquainted ourselves with the characters, let's dive into what makes the concluding chase sequence of this movie my absolute favorite. Joy's request to be tethered to the car sets the stage for a thrilling and unexpected turn of events. After an argument with her friend, she finds herself bound to the vehicle and the ride begins. What truly captivates me is the unique cinematography that captures this sequence. As Zoe is enjoying this ride, an unexpected twist awaits as Mike emerges from behind. He ruthlessly rams their car, and Zoe desperately clings to the speeding vehicle. The tension mounts as the action veers off the road and into the open fields. Our view of the chase is momentarily obscured, but then, with a sudden jolt, the car reappears from the side. This unexpected maneuver adds a fantastic element of surprise that intensifies the thrill. Tarantino gets his audience into the tunnel and suddenly flashes off lights. That's amazing to watch. Mike delivers another bone-rattling blow, sending their car into the ditch. Zoe is forcefully thrown into nearby plants. His disturbed psyche believes that the girls like this assault. His delusion leads to the pivotal moment. In the fit of anger, Kim shoots him, striking his hand, prompting Mike to make a hasty escape. At this point, we remain uncertain about Zoe's well-being, and somewhat amusingly, she emerges unharmed. Now it's the girl's turn to turn the table and extract retribution. Wounded and feeling the pain, Mike becomes an unlikely target. The situation that takes on a darkly humorous tone considering his history of violence towards women. Now he's the one suffering, he tries to pray to the god. That just adds humor to the scene.
Oh, why? Oh, no! Oh.
The next chase sequence is really amazing and Tarantino music elevates the suspense. In between the chase when they are not on the road, Clem is pleading that don't let there be a dead end, and she keeps on repeating that. That just adds another comic relief to the scene. Finally, there's a collision between their car and Mike, a satisfying and well-earned conclusion to any action scene. There's something called mic drop movement that every action sequence should aspire to achieve.
You know, Chris Rock will finish a set with a mic drop, and then we just referred to it like, mic drop. We needed the film equivalent of a mic drop. One of my favorite Tarantino movies that literally ends with like a 15-minute car chase that's just incredible. And as soon as the car chase is over, boom, it cuts to the credits. It's the most energy. I remember seeing it in college, and that's ultimately subconsciously probably where this ending came from, of just sort of wanting to end a movie with that kind of raw, sort of just, smack you in the gut.
They take Mike out of the car and start punching him until he hits the ground. This was the mic drop moment for me. Just like this, Ethan had to wrestle with removing the steering wheel. It was also a mic drop moment. To sum it all up, what truly makes a great chase sequence is not just action itself, but the emotional connection with the characters, moment of comic relief, and the presence of intelligent, resourceful characters. All these movies had one or the another quality that made them great.